Is Universal Audio Luna a DAW? It's a heist. Stick around and I'll tell you why. I'm Daniel and this is Cunningham Manor, and today I'm going to talk about Universal Audio's Luna, which is a recording software which some people would call a DAW. Would I call it a DAW? Does it do the things a DAW can do? Yes. It records, you can mix, you can master, you can do all those things. There's one big thing, there's one big hurdle, which is you have to have an Apollo. If you don't have an Apollo, you can't use it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I feel like there's a much bigger picture going on here. Regardless of the in and outs of the software and how it works, how it functions, and its requirements, it really reminds me of a story. In the 80s, there were two companies that went to war with each other for world dominance. They were computer companies. One of them was called Apple, the other Microsoft. Which one is sleek, beautiful, well-designed, easy to use, and costs a fortune? Which one is customizable and well-priced? I think you guys know the answers. While there are many DAWs, most of them come with a cost. You got to pay to use it, to pay to buy into their system of how they do things. And then there's the top dog, Pro Tools. Dominance in the recording industry. So here comes an underdog who has already forced everyone to use hardware to unlock their ecosystem of beautiful, well-crafted plugins. They have a massive library now. They have a lot of hardware. Even an Arrow, the baseline model, if I pop it up over here on the screen, $500. So that's the cost of the free software, I would say. It's $500 to use Luna. If we look at the competition, Pro Tools, if you want to jump in there, and I know they might have a base software these days, but to get a real rig, and here I am looking at Pro Tools costs, you have the software, the big software comes with all this stuff. Huge price tags for, we have a lower end, maybe 300, and also if we look at Logic, however much it is, $200, whatever price tag it is. All the software, they usually have a price tag. So if you compare it with Universal Audio Luna and the commitment that is having at least a $500 tag, you throw that in with this mix, maybe that's not so bad. Especially if you already have a library of plugins that you love to use, you can use them in Luna. So that kind of activates it. You need to activate it with getting an Arrow or an Apollo. But if we look more at Pro Tools and you want to go gung-ho and you want to get some of their interfaces for recording, the numbers become astronomical in comparison to Universal Audio. And so this is probably a bigger point that I'm getting to. These guys, I think, are going at war with each other. Universal Audio knows that it has a huge, maybe, foothold in the entire industry. It's been creeping in this whole time with its plugins and getting a huge user base, getting people to use Apollos. They have all these solutions that they've been filling out over this time for small users with a twin. They've been covering their bases with all the hardware pieces. And when you look at the competition, these numbers, the Apollos are cheaper for a studio quality, super high end, everything you need, all in one, clock, preamps. You get to use their software, which kind of harnesses the power of all their plugins and all that work, especially with the new things they're putting out. Summing, which we know Neve is not the end of it. There's going to be plenty more summing bus channels. Tape emulations are integrated into the workflow, which is really cool. And then just the whole process of recording top to bottom, and then through the inserts and the mixing phase. So it's all just a unified process, which I think is really cool. Their entire Luna system, in terms of how it works, is most familiar to Pro Tools. So anyone coming from Pro Tools is not really going to have a hard time jumping right into Luna and getting right to work and taking advantage of the hardware that they probably already have, which is an Apollo. So that's what I think Luna is. Luna is a smack in the face to Pro Tools. They are trying to steer the industry into a new era. of hardware committed workflows that require their hardware to work. Now they've been doing that since the beginning by forcing everybody to have an Apollo or a satellite to run the UAD plugins, and now they're taking it a step further and saying, hey, you already have this stuff, why don't you use our software and leave all this other stuff behind? So that's what Luna is. Is it a DAW? Yes, but only if you have an Apollo. Is that something you guys want to jump into? Hit me up below if you think so or not. Tell me how you feel, because I feel good. I feel good about it because I love Apollo, but I feel like I also have an iPhone, and it hurts because while the software is great, the hardware is great, all the stuff is great, usability is great, the price, it's like a black hole, because you always want to get the next one or another one, and since the prices, since they got you on a monthly cost, it never ends. It's such an enormous amount of money at a constant rate. So while it's always exciting for Universal Audio stuff to come out, it's such a huge cost. So unless you're making a lot of money in music, or you have a flow of money that allows you to do this stuff, then it's a painful commitment. It's great, the software is great, but just like Apple, it always hurts just a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. I'll catch you guys in the next one.